Story. Who doesn't want to listen to a story? Everybody wants to listen to stories. I love stories, and it has been used by many great leaders. Jesus Christ, he used stories to convey his message to his audience. In current time, many public speakers use a story. Many great salesmen use a story. Many great business people use a story. We all have some stories. And if we learn a skill to share our story, we can do wonders. Now, the question is, what are the elements in a story? In a story, there are a couple of elements which we use to convey our message. So first thing is message itself, of course. So we have to be very clear idea what is message. Message itself is an idea. So in our story, we need to remember that what message we want to convince or convey. So our message should be very clear. And second is, we need to have a character in our story. Without character, there is no story. So we have to have a character in our story, and we have to give our audience enough information so they can visualize our character. We have to give them enough information that they can connect to our character. So we have to share the traits of the character, the looks of the character, or even the gender of the character. And we want to be very specific. We have to give the name to our character so people can connect to it. And character, the whole story, as you know, will be around this character, or it can be one character, or it can be more than one character, or it could be you yourself as a character. So that character should be there. The next point comes is, in a story we have to describe the setting. Setting means surrounding, what is happening there. So to help our audience to visualize and connect to our story, we have to give them a setting so they can visualize and they can hook into your story. So describing the location, the place, the sound, the touch, the feeling, the smell. So we have to give them all those, some modality from NLP point of view to our audience so they can connect to our and hook to our story. And as you know that every story must have a problem, because if everything is happy, it's not a story. Nobody buys happy books. Nobody watches a movie which is just a flat. They want to watch a movie, so there's some action, there's something happening. You know, the hero is solving a problem. So we want that kind of a movie, that kind of a story. So every story must have a character, must have a setting, must have a problem. So hero must solve this problem. And hero, another important aspect is that if story is just a narration, then it's kind of boring. Nobody wants to listen to a boring story. Nobody wants to listen to a narration. So, you know, in a story there must be a dialogues. That's why in every movie you'll find some dialogues. They can tell a story that, you know, about the movie in just a narration, and I don't think so anybody will like it. Even I will not like it, and I'm sure you will also not like it, because without a dialogue there is no really a movie. There's not really a story. So, and once we have a dialogue in our story, then we need to consider conveying our feelings, means the feelings of the character, and feelings and emotions of the character to our audience. How our hero or our character is feeling when he's going through or she's going through the problem, and the stress and tension or the challenges that our character is facing or characters are facing. We have to convey that feeling to our audience. Once they have, you know, once they receive the feelings, or when they are engaged in the feelings and emotions, they are fully connected to our story. So once they have feelings and connection and emotions, then we have to convey what happened in the story, what actions has been taken place, what our character is doing to solve the problem. So once we have all of these all like message need a, we have character, we have setting, we've given the picture of the problem our character is facing, the dialogues between the character and somebody else or himself or herself, the feelings, how this character is going through, so it makes more human when there's some feelings, and what actions the hero is taking. Then we have to give some anticipation. What is next is coming, so there should be an anticipation in the story, what is next. So that will keep our audience connected and hooked in our story, thinking what's going to be next in our story. Then should be some kind of surprise. This should not be like a predictable story. Okay, they're going to do this and this and this, after that this happens. If our audience can predict the story, that becomes boring, so they're not interested anymore. So story must have a surprise. An element of surprise must be there, and after surprise we must have, we must end our story with a big bang. So our story should conclude what happened in the story, and once we have done that, the final point is we must tie back our story to our message we conveyed earlier, the first thing. So these are the few important elements in our story, but we can add few more, like we can add we can have a villain in our story, we can have we can also add how our main character transformed because of problems and the solution he found, or how he solved or she solved it, and we can also share the series of setbacks or the challenges our character faced. That will make story much more interesting and more engaging. So that's all for the story content, and I hope you liked it, and I hope you will be able to use these elements in your storytelling. And I'll see you again. Thank you very much.